John Dyson, class of 1961. They were just back here, that class, for their whatever reunion, a big one, 50, I think. He was not able to come then because I gather he's ill, but he has contributed substantially to the American political and social scene. He's a businessman, a creative thinker, and you read what he's done during the years on this planet, and it's extraordinary. One of the things that I do when I prepare my speeches for the 12 people who are honored is I look at the Bandersnatch. I think it's roughly equivalent to people who say things on the internet and then they find out that it's floating around the internet. Well, this is floating around the Bandy, and I obviously am kind. This one got me, though. The opening sentence of the 1961 Bandersnatch said, "Scarsdale High School is life in miniature." I don't think so. I think that sort of misses it, but fortunately, the senior section of Bandy was more accurate. Referred to Dyson's mathematical and agricultural interests. And this is what they wrote of him. "He fidgets with digits, this math-minded man whose hope it is to cope with the farm surplus plan. Dyson combines these interests in politics with his creative side when he is the person who designed the I Love New York campaign. He also is chairman of Millbank and Tweed Corporate Management, so I gather he's doing okay." I just have to turn pages. Ah, Eugenie, where are you? In a minute, I get to say something nice. I was going to tell a story, Genie, and I decided I wouldn't because it was too personal, but maybe I'll tell it to you afterwards, okay? It has to do, I'll give you a hint. It gives you a hint. I'll give you a hint. It was 2 days after I had retired and I was cleaning out my files. And you came by, saw me, and chewed me out. That's the good part. Okay. Social activist, Eugenie Lang, class of 1996. Let's get ready. A founder, the founder. Genie has a drive that is masked by her wit and her charm. Her Bandy quote is quite tongue-in-cheek, but captured her nonetheless. "What? Only 10 lines? Are they kidding me?" Now she has many lines, all of them directed toward helping young people from communities far less fortunate than Scarsdale to get a shot at college. Genie?
Lily asked who else was speaking when she saw Max up there. And I said, "Well, Lily, I think I'm going to get to speak." And she said, "Well, if you get to speak, I get to speak."
Doesn't surprise me a bit. That's great.
You want to sing Amarillo? So Rosado. You have this.
Amarillo, azul, rosado, negro, blanco, anaranjado, rojo, verde y morado, gris, dorado, plateado, crema celeste, melón, los colores estos son.
That was wonderful.
I'm done.
That's a first, and that's wonderful.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm not sure she knows what any of those words mean, actually. So it's an incredible honor to be here, and I am so grateful. Max told the story of Mr. Maloney. When I say it's incredible to be here, every time I say the word incredible, I think of Mr. Maloney, who said, "Well, what part of it do you not believe?" It's incredible. So I was amazed when when word of this amazing, incredible honor, truly incredible, came out, at how many people who I had no idea would find out. It was a little So there's this woman who I met. I live in California now, so as far as I could possibly go without jumping in the ocean from here. And I was at a mixer for my business school. I went to Stanford for business school, which is fun. And there was this woman who was in her 60s on the other side of the room, and I was just drawn to her. And I didn't really know why, but I said, you have such a beautiful smile. I'd love to get to know you. Can I take you out for lunch? And I wasn't hitting on her, although it does kind of sound that way. But anyway, this woman just had this incredible warmth. And so we've been getting together for about a year for lunch, and about once a month. And recently, she and her husband invited Brian, my husband, and I out for dinner and a show. And we were sitting there, and her husband said, "So where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from New York." And he said, "Well, where in New York?" And I said, "It's a little town called Scarsdale." And Julie looks at me, and she says, "I grew up on Carthage Road in Scarsdale." What I loved about her was this incredible warmth that she had, this voracious intellectual curiosity. And I realized that these are really things that, for me, define this community, and certainly define the education that we get here from our families, from our teachers. So Let's Get Ready is an organization that mobilizes college students to provide free SAT prep and college advising to low-income kids to try to level the playing field. And really, there are three ways that I'd like to mention that this is a very organically Scarsdale program that I really would be hard to come out of many other places. The first is this education that we get, and it's not the periodic table. It's this education in being human, in being warm. It's the incredible support that kids here get from our parents, from my parents. Let's Get Ready came out of my wanting to share just the overwhelming love and support and information and guidance that I got from my parents and from my deans here at Scarsdale with kids who don't have that opportunity. We now have had many hundreds of kids from Scarsdale volunteer in the program. We've had 6,000 volunteers. Let's Get Ready has guided 12,000 low-income kids through the college process, 93% of whom are going directly to college after high school, as opposed to about 57% of kids from the same background who don't go through our program. And it's really because we're able to share some tiny taste of the kind of love and the kind of support that you as parents in this community and teachers in this community have given us. So thank you. Thank you so much. The other way that this program is so uniquely Scarsdale and that who I am, I think, is now so uniquely Scarsdale, is in one of the most formative experiences of my entire life, which was AP US History. This was the first time that I learned about, so we read A People's History of the United States. Now, I don't know how many U.S. history classes in the country are reading from Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. It's, maybe second to Marx in its, it was not so common. But history had always been, Washington, George Washington did this, and John Adams did this, and it was this very top-down and, sort of these facts that people did. And here, suddenly, I'm learning about Medgar Evers and the AFL-CIO and Mario Savio and Cesar Chavez and people who saw injustice in the world around them and decided that they were going to organize their community and make the world a better place. And this was the most inspiring experience I've ever had. And I can't thank you enough for designing that course. I went on to college, and I majored in American history and focused on the civil rights movement and on and on community organizing. And Let's Get Ready very much came out of that. We are a nonprofit, but the way that we always describe ourselves internally and to our volunteers is that Let's Get Ready is a movement of students helping students get to college. So thank you. And the third way, even in the very details of what Let's Get Ready does, is uniquely Scarsdale. So I realized that the reason that I loved Scarsdale High School so much was I would spend countless hours alone with teachers just talking about ideas. Eric Rothschild was not even my teacher, but I never had him in class. I mean, he was my teacher. I never had him in class, but this man probably spent, if you were to portion it all out, maybe a week out of his life just shooting the bull with me in his office, which it was unbelievable. Howard Rodstein took us to see Tony Kushner, and we stood in line for 2 hours for twofers in Times Square. I mean, it was this kind of incredible love that made me want to learn, not so that I could be a more erudite scholar, but because I saw what these people understood about the world, and I wanted to be more like them. I wanted to understand what they understood about life. And so I went to college thinking that it was going to be exactly like this. And I said to one of my professors, I said, I'd love to get to know you. We have this sort of sage on the stage thing at certain universities. And so I said, I'd really like to get to know you more as a person rather than just a professor. Can I take you for coffee? And she looked at me very flatly and she said, Genie, Mr. Chips does not exist. And so in designing Let's Get Ready, I realized that I was very much trying to get back to the garden. All of our classes are designed so it's 5 students to 1 teacher. The teachers are all college students who are extraordinarily relevant role models. The kids look at them and they see themselves a year down the line. And they want to learn what these people are teaching so that they can be more like them, not for some sort of theoretical thing. So as over the years I thought about what makes education great, I realized that the model I was putting together was exactly what already existed here. So I want to thank you so much for creating this experience for me, for allowing me to share it with other people now, and for this incredible honor. It's really great to be back. Thank you. You guys are a much easier audience than the high school kids. That was really scary.
Okay, because of that, I think I'll tell you what the rest of that sentence was. She chewed me out because I was throwing away paper. Think about that.
You were recycling.
That's right.